Hi. So this morning, I have an electric toothbrush, and it vibrates. And for years, I've hummed to that vibration, and it sort of resonates. And then I think that puts me in the vortex, because it kind of dissolves all the issues that I'm having. Sometimes my roommate kind of gets out of the vortex.
We can see why it would, because it's being experienced by more than one of your senses. You're hearing it, you're feeling it, and by relaxing into it and by reaching for resonance with it, we can see how it could distract you and align you. Yes.
And then my real thing is I got this. My new second career, flight attendant for 6 years now. Love it. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life. And our bases are in very expensive cities. So I'm starting to think, maybe I don't have to live in one of my expensive cities as a college student type thing with roommates and stuff, and I can move to one of these less expensive cities and buy something and have my own place. So I've been looking at Portland, Oregon, and it's like, downtown, right on the light rail, I can go right to the airport. Or Reno, Nevada, I can buy a car and kind of get out in the country. But there's two situations, as I'm either want to be downtown, glass and everything, or I want to be in the country, away from everything. I don't know which one to focus on or not focus on, or how to find my dream house.
When you're in a place where the decision is hard in coming, it means you haven't collected enough data. Because once you've collected more data, then the decision will be easier for you to make. And tell us again, what is it about what is currently happening that you think you need to change? In other words, your roommates, living like a college student. Talk to us about that just a little bit. Because many people look back at those days as the days of freedom.
I have freedom now. It's wonderful. Oh. I just pay $600 a month, and I have no car. I live next to the Whole Foods and the subway that takes me to work, and then I can get on a plane and fly anywhere.
Utopia.
You did. Yeah, it's.
So,
but I'd like to have my own place.
Because
kind of go home just to be. I want to have an outdoor hot tub with trees and go home and be quiet. It's like I'm in a little tube with thousands of people all day at work, and then I'll come home and it's like. No.
Are they all in there with you?
No, well, when I come home, it's just nice. It would be nice to create something, build, my own place, and just not have any contrast at home.
It's perfectly normal and wonderful to be sifting through the details of your life and identifying what you want. But it is always true that once you put things into the vortex, that the vortex will organize the circumstance and events to deliver to you all things that you want. And it is also always true that when you are in this place of saying, should I live in the country? Should I live in the city? Should I have a roommate? Should I live on my own? When you're weighing the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses of things, you can hold yourself in a place of resistance, where if you will just make peace with where you are. This is the thing that almost nobody really gets at first, and once you hear it, it just makes such sense. You wonder why you didn't always apply it, because at some level you've always known it. So we're just going to explain to you the very basics of creation. So you sift and sort and identify what you want, and whether you're speaking about it to anyone else or even writing it on your own list of dreams and desires and hopes, you are sending off those rockets of desires. So when you feel confined in that little airplane tube all day, it makes you want freedom from people, freedom from the demands of people. When you live in the city with exhaust and congestion and tourism and inconsideration, it makes you want consideration. It makes you want cleaner air. It makes you, in other words, whatever you are living, the contrast always sharpens your desire. So what's been accumulating in your vortex are all of those pieces of all of those desires. Every one of them valid, every one of them chosen by you, every one of them, not just frivolously chosen, but chosen from a real life experience that gave you a piece of knowledge that made you know that you prefer that to that, and that to that, and that to that, and that to that. So you've built this magnificent vibrational reality, which will one day, and it can be soon or longer, but will one day be a manifestation in terms of stuff that you see and houses that you live in and people who live with you and so forth. So it's a future manifestation, but it's a present tense accumulation and vibrational state of being. It's a present tense state of being. It is a reality that exists right here, right now. It's a reality that exists. So as you stand over in your real life experience, sort of railing against the tourism, or railing against the exhaust, or railing against the noise, or uncomfortable, you hold yourself in defiant resistance to what you've created that your vortex is tending to and that your vortex is calling you to. And when you say, should I do that? Should I do that? I don't know. You're still in a vibrational place of resisting. The vortex is calling you, but you are not hearing the call, and you're not interpreting it because you are using the comparison, struggling, offering too much effort. So you're not in a vibrational place where the vortex can take you in and reveal to you the path of least resistance that will not only take you to where you want to be, but give you a joyful journey along the way. But this one factor, this one mindset, this one understanding will change all of that. When you decide to compassionately, we're going to overwork that word for a while, make peace with where you are, meaning this is a good fit for me right now. Be general about it. It gives me this footloose. It gives me an opportunity to collect data. It's really working in this way and in this way and in this way. When I'm in I can go to my own space. I can be by myself if I want to. I can move my physical body anywhere that I want to be. I have the ability to go find a quiet place under a quiet tree and have quiet moments. I have the ability to close my eyes and get into my own mind. In other words, I don't need to be someplace different, and I don't need to do something different in order to feel the way I want to feel. As you make peace with where you are by not comparing where I could be, but instead and the fastest way, the most powerful way to make peace with where you are is by saying, no matter what it is, and there's a lot of pleasing things in your now, this is the beginning of my journey, not the beginning and middle and ending of my journey. This is the beginning of my journey. When all of those people get on those airplanes, they're going somewhere. That's why that feels so good to you. They're all going somewhere. And none of them want to be on that airplane. They don't want to really be on that airplane. Nobody really wants to be in that little tube with you either. But why are they doing it? Because they're going somewhere. Because the call of the journey supersedes where they are, and where they are just doesn't matter very much. It's sort of like, I can do this because it's on the way there, you see. That's the reason that appeals so much to you. And that's what you want to do with everything. So this is, every journey needs a beginning point, and every journey has a beginning point. And we got to tell you, we said it earlier, but this is a better time and a better place, and you'll feel it even more powerfully as we say it. Where you are is never as good as where you're going, because you have expanded vibrationally and there's more to catch up with. So you just got to make peace with the not enoughness of what is, in a way that you just accept that it's just always that way, so that your eagerness is about the unfolding, not about the getting there, because you're not ever going to get there. You're not ever going to get to the place where you don't want to build another cabin somewhere else. You're not ever going to get to the place where you don't want another meal, or don't want another conversation, or don't want another good idea, or don't want another reason to feel life flowing through you in another way, you see. Did we get there for you? Making peace with, so what does making peace with what is really mean? It means accepting it as the beginning point of a journey, but it is the journey that is ringing my bells. Where you are right now, we cannot hold to it. Do you feel how fleeting now there it went again, 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 there it went again. There it went again. It will not stand still, and therefore it does not matter. It's only the bouncing off place anyway, you see. And so as you accept it as that, call it temporary if it isn't pleasing you, call it long-lasting if it is pleasing you, but make peace with it in every way you can. And so let's see if we can find it here. What is the most powerful way to make peace with what is? To accept that what is always quickly changing. And you see, you're such powerful, passionate creators that standing still is something that just sucks the life right out of you. The idea of standing still is something that you cannot bear to even contemplate, because it is so opposite of the eternal, fast-moving being that you are, you see.
It's great. I'm moving. That's what I like this job too. I get to move all over the place anytime.
So now describe to us just briefly what it's like where you live. Just give us a little picture of it.
It's pleasant. Has a nice view of the Washington monuments. It's just a big apartment complex in kind of a shifting neighborhood. It's not pleasant to go outside. Lots of car fumes and lots of crowds, and just having a roommate home all the time.
All right, so now take one piece of that and make it more general in an attitude of making peace with it. Let's take the shifty neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I live in a shifty neighborhood. Now, if you get specific, that means high crime.
Yeah, lots of gunshots.
Say again?
Gunshots. And
undesirable people around.
Yeah.
So now make it more general.
I have a nice view of the Washington Monument.
But you changed the subject. We want to take the shiftiness of the neighborhood and make peace with it.
There's
public
transit nearby. Oh, that's different.
You're changing the subject again. Making peace with with one of the pieces of it that didn't feel good to you. So shifty neighborhood, but I've never really felt unsafe.
Right.
I've always been safe. I move around at will. A lot of people do. People are moving around. Law of attraction doesn't bring me into anything like that. The whole world is shifty in the sense that there are things around all of us that are unwanted. Can't drive down there are shifty people on every airplane you're on. And they're not all employees of the airline. In other words, there's stuff around everywhere. There's stuff around, but it doesn't mean that you are a match to it. It doesn't mean that law of attraction is hooking you up with it. So now we'll speak from your point of view. My neighborhood is what it is, but it's working for so many people, and it's working for me right now. Mm-hmm. And there are many more advantages to being here right now than there are disadvantages. And I know that I won't be here forever, but it's just right for me now. And as you make peace with it, then if there is something that you want, and in the making peace with where you are, the something that you want will call you quickly and effortlessly and efficiently, and you'll say, and you won't say, I don't know whether to do this or this, because the way it lines up is so amazing. You can feel the universal hand in it. You can feel the divine intervention in it. You can feel the well-being in it. You can feel the orchestrated qualities of it. You can feel the worthiness of you. In other words, you just feel that you're in good hands. And then you will come round to say, isn't it something that I lived in a neighborhood that I once called shifty, in a sort of semi-effort to make myself feel unsafe and use as motivation to leave it. But by making peace with the well-being of this neighborhood, I've discovered the well-being of the world, and now I'm truly free to move about in the way that I want to, you see. You'll never be happy with your feet nailed down in one place. There is a huge world of experience and exposure that you are reaching for, you see.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.